But with us is Christina McHenry, and she's with Child Life Specialist. She's one of the many, many amazing people that your job is pretty much to make sure that kids are getting through everything and reducing their anxiety and smiling and, being kids.
Yes, yep, that's exactly right. So our job is really just to try to make the hospital environment more kid-friendly, help things be kind of broken down to a level that kids can understand, and just trying to help the whole experience be a little more tailored towards kids.
You're like a bunch of school teachers, kind of.
Kind of. We actually have a hospital school teacher now on our team, which is amazing.
That is awesome.
But kind of in a way, we do a lot of teaching patients and families about diagnosis, about procedures, about what's going to happen, and just kind of, like I said, broken down in a way that's very simplified and easy for everyone to understand.
Yeah, break it down for us in a way that's simple to understand. Or really,
we've had a long day.
We have had a long day. What is that? Can you give me an example of a kid that you worked with and were able to take this big scary diagnosis that who the heck knows what that means? My parent doesn't even know what this means, and let them know how the treatment was going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I used to work, before I became manager, I was in the Children's Cancer and Blood Disorder Unit, and so any diagnosis that comes through as cancer or a blood disorder can be very terrifying for a family. So for kiddos with cancer, we kind of start at the baseline, explaining kind of what that is on a very basic level. Then we work up to, we have dolls that have all the different medical equipment that they'll be encountering, that kids can kind of play with it and familiarize themselves with it before it's happening to them. Have lots of resources that we give parents to talk to them at home, and siblings. So there's a lot of factors and a lot of time that goes into it, but it's a process for sure. It doesn't happen overnight, but we have so many great resources at our hospital that we use to talk to the kids.
And you talk about the school teacher program. When you donate right now and you become a miracle maker, it's $20 a month, right? Which is less than $1 a day. And for that $20, you want to put it in perspective. That school teacher program, $20 a month pays for 12 hours of learning, so that the kids can get the tests, can stay on track, they can tutor, they can proctor. That's what the school teacher program does, and that's dollars that you are donating right now to help keep a program like that going. And how much, why do people need to give? How important is it to specifically Child Life Specialists?
Yeah, so like you were saying, most of pretty much everything that we use, all of our supplies, come from this Children's Miracle Network funding. So everything we use for holiday parties, end of chemo parties, supplies for the playroom, teaching supplies. We couldn't do any of that without this Children's Miracle Network money. It's literally the only funding we use. So
literally your funding.
So important to us. Yeah, we could not do our jobs without it.
So we talked about yesterday with the snow, we are running a little bit lower than we wanted to be, a little bit behind of where we want to be normally at this point. And that's why it's so important, because, man, if we don't hit these goals, that's less money that you can put smiles on kids' faces. That's why it's so important.
Yeah.
Whatever dollar amount you can donate.
Yeah, just the littlest things, like stuffed animals, soft blankets, fun pillowcases, toys from the playroom, play mats, swings for babies, pacifiers, little things that you don't think of that kids need while they're in the hospital, that just comfort them and help the environment feel normal to them. That's what we provide with this money that you guys give.
And it goes all the way to, you mentioned the dolls earlier, right? And there's some bigger pieces of equipment that you utilize, but is actually really expensive for a kid. What's some of that equipment?
Yeah, so we have for kids that are on precautions, that can't leave their room, we have Xboxes and PlayStations on carts that we can wheel into them so they can play and kind of get their mind off of things. Like I said, all of our iPads, virtual reality goggles.
I missed those this year.
They're pretty cool.
That's always fun to play with the VR goggles, and then you come back and you take them off. You go, oh, that's right. I'm over here.
Yeah,
I'm at work.
Totally. And of course, all of our medical dolls and equipment, those are expensive, and we order them specially a lot of times for different diagnosis, just to tailor it to the kids and what they need. So. Yeah.
People talk about inflation right now, and I get it. You're listening at home right now going, man, I love to donate, but I'm worried the world situations, inflation. Do I have enough money for me? And I totally understand, but if inflation doesn't affect just you, it impacts everything, all the supplies, all those items that you mentioned, the pacifiers, the diapers, everything. You guys are impacted by that too. So I know it gets hard to think about how can I donate that money? Where do I get that money from? But man, oh man, you guys still need that money just as much because you're dealing with the same situations.
Right, yeah. And I've heard this echoed throughout this radiothon, but you just never know when you might be the family that comes in and needs those resources. And so it's just so important for our community to, keep our children's hospital well funded and well supplied, and this is just one of the great ways that people can do that.
866-970-4483. I mean, I think she really said it all right there. There's so many reasons to donate. If anything, just to make a child's hospital stay feel a little bit more like normal life. So that's what you are giving when you become a Miracle Maker for $20 a month, a Super Miracle Maker for $31.25 a month. 866-970-4483. It's being matched by Blue Sky Restoration. Thank you for chatting with us and telling us a little bit more about child life today.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
It's the 16th annual Missouri Credit Union Miracles for Kids Radiothon on Y107.